This show is supported by you, Will Abides, and specifically you. This is a Cup of Go for July 10th, 2026. Keep up to date with the important happenings in the Go community in about 20 minutes per week. I'm Shai Nechmad.
And I am Jonathan Hall. Welcome to the
For
new
some
Cup
reason,
of Go.
I don't know why I waited for you to say I'm Shai Nechmad, but then I was wait,
I
that's
could do
me.
it. That would be weird. I could do it.
I don't know. I don't think you can pull me off.
Probably not very well.
You know too much about Go.
Ooh.
So you don't have that unknowing energy. How are you doing, Jonathan?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Can I comment on something
Sure.
in your life right now?
Okay.
Your printer's blinking.
And
And I know that if I watch this episode on YouTube with the video on, because we have video now, it would bother me. That's also a solution. Just patch it.
I just moved my mic arm down to cover up
unit
the...
test.
Yeah, that's right.
Just remove the assert. All right. So today we're going to talk about we're actually going to do Go news, unlike our meta episode last time. I'm going to go over the new security release. There are two interesting security fixes there that I wanted to walk you through and sort of teach you what they did. You wanted to mention a new release of
GopherJS. Yeah. It's one of my favorite pet projects, so I'll talk about that.
And you wanted to dig through two proposals.
Couple proposals, yeah. That were accepted.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about GopherCon Israel that's coming up and the safety's open. But let's start with the security release.
Tell me all about it.
So Go 126.5 and 125.12, so minor point releases.
And 127 RC2.
And 27 RC2, that's true, have been released. And they include two security fixes. And I think I understood both of them. One more than the other, so I'm going to talk about that more.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the function OS root?
Not intimately. I think I have a little bit of an idea what it's for, but...
So I dug through our crates, and you're the one who talked about this when it was introduced very recently, last year.
Okay. I do remember that now, yeah.
So what is it?
If I recall, it allows you to specify a root directory that... So it's like a symbolic file system link that you can't escape from, so that you can say this is my work directory. You can only access files in that directory. You can't escape from that. Am I on the right track?
You're absolutely right. And the blog post related to it when we talked about it on the show was the travel resistant file APIs, right? So the whole point is let's avoid things like .. //
Right.
give me the password, which if you're like me and you've done a lot of capture the flag challenges is a classic thing, right? You walk up to a web server, immediately you try .. Or if you know it's Windows, you try any of the special funky Windows paths. And also you can use symbolic links to access the wrong file that are outside of what you're working on at the moment. And funnily enough, this security release is that if you open a file in OS root, but you have a / at the end, it follows this as a symlink, even if this is outside of the root. So let's say you have a directory called someplace, and it has a symlink that you've planted there as an attacker, using a different attack path, like a file writing vulnerability somehow.
Mm-hmm.
That's called symlink /. And that's pointing towards someplace else. That's outside the OS root. The whole point of OS root was, I'm not going to let you do that. But just specifically because it ended in this little / here, it works. And the fix seems to be relatively simple. I didn't actually dig into the CL itself. But it's just make sure you sanitize the path as well, right? that is passed to os.root. I would consider this relatively serious. Like if you're using, you know what I mean? If you're using OS root, you definitely want to upgrade, because this was introduced to add security. And I feel like some people may have said, "Oh, I'm passing it to OS root, therefore I don't need to implement my own, path sanitization and whatever. Like I don't need to check for all this stuff because I'm using OS root." Turns out, even OS root missed the case.
Indeed.
So you don't want to do root escapes. Have you used this function yourself, or do you just rely on libraries that you use to use it?
I don't think I have used it directly. I have considered using it a few times. When GoSec tells me something unsafe is happening, but I've always come to the conclusion that the potentially unsafe thing wasn't actually unsafe in my particular case. So I don't think I've used it before.
I've used it once since it was introduced. I don't think there's an actual attack vector there because it's all like internal stuff, but I felt like it could
better safe than sorry,
really
right?
Worth. Yeah, for sure. So this is the first security thing. The other one, also very important, of course, is crypto TLS, encrypted client hello privacy leak. And sort of, as always with crypto related things, we are not crypto experts. Do not implement your own crypto. We have Filippo for that, right? Filippo, the editor, I have a challenge for you. Now I want you to go back and put a little snippet from our episode with Filippo.
Hi, everyone. I'm Filippo Valsorda. I've been maintaining the Go cryptography standard library since 2018. I've done that first at Google as the lead of the Go security team, and these days I'm doing it as an independent open source maintainer.
All right, Jonathan, are you hungry?
I'm always hungry.
Are you hungry for a word salad?
Okay.
A little bit of alphabet soup. So this is TLS. Omit PSK in ECH outer client hello.
WTF?
Oh, it's just about the SNI value, so don't worry about it. I mean, for me reading this, I had to decode this one by one. But here's what I think. It
sounds to me like the CVE is encrypted so that it doesn't leak any useful information.
Here's what I think is happening, okay? ECH is encrypted client hello. So I'll send a client hello to a server that's using TLS, which is like SSL. It's like the encrypted, transport protocol, whatever. There is a PSK, which is pre-shared key extension, meaning I can send the client hello and tell you that this is my key that I shared before. And that's like an extension. However, if I use this feature of PSK extension in an unencrypted context, in the outer client hello, in the unencrypted client hello, let's say there are 3 clients, right? You, me, and Bill Hader on the network trying to talk to the same server.
Oh yeah, Bill.
I know. I couldn't come up with a name. And we're all talking.
By the way, Bill, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on the show.
So I don't know if Bill is a big Go user.
Probably not, but I would love to have him on the show if he is.
He probably loves abbreviations because he's on SNL, right?
There you go. That's right.
Anyway, so 3 clients on the same network, right? Talking to some secure server like Bank of America, right? Over TLS. Someone listening on that network, let's say in the Starbucks where we're all sitting together, can see the unencrypted client hellos and then de-anonymize which packets are from which person because of the PSK, because of the pre-shared key, because that's different to all of us. And it's passed unencrypted on that for each connection. So it's slight degradation of privacy. And then that attacker can replay that key to the server and know who's who, basically. So a slight de-anonymization. It's not like they broke TLS or anything like that, but it's just slightly worse privacy. Together with other privacy leaks or problems or other access networks or, something running on your machine or whatever, this could actually be utilized for a full, like unwrapping. But in this case, it's just a slight degradation in privacy, as far as I understood it. And we mentioned SNI. That's a server name indicator. I don't know what it has to really do with this attack because I couldn't understand the code, but it's also a thing I learned.
Well, okie dokie.
So a security release. And what's our recommendation?
I will be sure to upgrade before I hang out at Starbucks with Bill Hader in the future.
Yes. These minor releases usually don't contain any breaking changes. So you should just always upgrade. You shouldn't wait for us to tell you what the upgrade is. But in this case, it even seems like it's worth it.
Cool.
So new security release. So that's one security release. How about the GopherJS release we talked about?
Yeah, we talked about GopherJS. So if you're new to the show, you may not have heard about this. If you are a long-time listener, we've talked about it before. Because I'm one of the co-maintainers of the GopherJS tool, which is a transpiler that converts Go into JavaScript you can run in your browser. And GopherJS 1.21 was just released, mostly thanks to Grant Nelson, who we had on the show probably 2 years ago.
So I'm Grant Nelson in Montana. I've lived here almost my whole life. Went to MSU and took a long break for a while, and now I'm back working on my PhD. Okay. I prefer to be a teacher, but ran out of money, so had to go get a real job. And
So Grant has been busy updating. The big milestone was, I don't know, maybe a year ago when we released 1.18 with generics. Now we're catching up. We're at 1.21 now, and 1.22 is underway. So that's exciting if you like to run Go in the browser.
And funnily enough, I don't think it's going to be the only transpiler that takes some language and turns it into JavaScript in your browser that we're going to talk about today.
Probably
what
not.
are the challenges in maintaining GopherJS? Do you have like a lot of users that come up with edge cases, or is it just keeping up with the language?
It's mostly keeping up with the language. That's the big thing. And we were, of course, behind for several years because generics were a really big, heavy lift with not a lot of people with the time or knowledge to work on it. Now that we're over that hump, it's mostly a matter of just backporting standard library changes. And of course, the language changes occasionally, and the implementation of the language changes in ways that are not always compatible with a JavaScript runtime. So that's usually the biggest challenge. Some map optimization that makes Go a lot faster when it's compiled doesn't translate cleanly to JavaScript, so we have to reinvent an implementation or something like that.
You're saying JavaScript hates Swiss maps.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. I have a very short plug. We always have to thank our first guest ever, Miki Tebeka, and also sort of the person who got me into like the Go community first, just by organizing all the Gopher stuff in Israel. And what I'm talking about is GopherCon Israel. There are two things worth mentioning. There's a call for speakers open. As usual, we highly recommend that if you are in Israel at the time, which is going to be October 18th, one day before my birthday. It's going to be a big event, full day of Go talks in Tel Aviv. If you're thinking about doing a talk, I would love to help you out. I've done a talk at GopherCon. It was really, really fun. It's on YouTube. And the seat fee is open. And it closes July 31st. So you don't have a ton of time. Don't like put this off for forever. You got to get it done like next week probably. And also very important, it's not only call for speakers, also a call for sponsors. So you can become a sponsor. I've been at these GopherCons, so I don't know. You've been to GopherCon US ever or not yet?
My first one will be next month.
Oh, in Seattle, right?
Mm-hmm.
But have you been to a GopherCon in Europe?
I've been to Go conferences, but not GopherCon branded ones.
So what I mean is a conference and not a meetup.
Yes,
like something big, full day.
I went to .go back before COVID several times before they canceled it.
So you know how they have companies that sponsor the event usually to help how does that come through? So sometimes it comes through as like, thank you to our sponsors, a little banner or whatever. In GopherCon Israel, when you get the gold sponsorship, people will like walk up to your booth. They will talk to you. If you're hiring or if you're selling dev tooling, it's a really, really good marketing spend. So I highly recommend it, even though it's expensive. Like it's not cheap. If you're a serious company, you should really consider it. And also you get 8 conference tickets. So if you're a listener who's working at a big-ish, go-ish company in Israel, hey, instead of paying for 8 tickets yourself for you and your team, just get your company to sponsor Miki and the crew.
Sounds cool.
So yeah, GopherCon Israel is coming together. I wish I could be there. I'm not going to be there at the time, but I'll watch it on YouTube after.
Cool.
So a few action items. If you have money, give them. If you have a talk, give them. Or if you want to go, just buy the tickets. Cool. All right, let's stick to some proposals.
Yeah,
I must get through this proposal.
We must do it. We want to talk about a couple of proposals here. The first one was accepted. It is net/URLs must parse. And this is kind of related to an old news item. We talked about must do, a package must.do function being rejected. So this is a follow-up from that. Like if we're not going to do the general version that you can use everywhere for reasons we talked about, let's at least add some must parse functions where it's most impactful. And I'm happy to see this one. It's not a big deal, but it's kind of a nice quality of life thing. Sometimes you just have a URL string that you know is never going to fail, or you don't care if it fails because it's in a test or something. So must parse is the solution. It does a parse and it panics if it fails. And if you know that it shouldn't ever fail because it's a constant that's embedded in your code or it's a test, this will save you a couple lines of code. Woohoo!
So question. If I load a URL from, first of all, shout out to Simon. I just realized to open this this proposal. Simon is hi Simon. He's in the Go San Francisco thing, and he's really, really nice. So if I load a URL from configuration, like a .env or a config file or someone passes a URL flag, I don't want to use this, right? Probably I still want to handle the error.
Yeah. To
present it nicely to the user and whatever.
Right. And to not cause your program to, crash.
No, I'm gonna exit one anyway. So
right. But I'm gonna exit. In that case, you still probably want to, like you said, present a useful, pretty error rather than a stack trace.
Yeah, because otherwise it's either going to be a stack trace, which looks weird, or I'm going to have to wrap everything with a recover, which also looks kind of bad.
Right. So you're either turning your errors into exceptions or you're pretending Go is Python.
So what cases do I want to use it for? If it's a const in the code and I know that it's always going to parse, basically?
That would be a case. And also in tests where if it's wrong, then panicking is fine because it means my test is buggy or something like that. But I would say tests would be the place I'll use it the most. And the secondary place would be if I have an API where I can use a config value to change the base URL, but by default it's localhost or example.com or whatever. And I know that the default always parses, maybe I just parse that at startup and with must parse.
So I understand. Okay, must parse URL or must URL.must parse. But how often does this actually happen in the wild?
It's funny that you would ask that because it's actually part of the issue here that we link to SourceGraph's search of public repositories that do this with a regular expression. So it might not be 100%. There might be some idioms that don't match this. But how often does it happen?
Pretty often.
Where's the number here?
Like 500 plus.
500 plus times in Go. Yeah.
So I remember, when I submitted my YAML request, it was like a thing being popular in the language is not necessarily a reason for it to be added, but something as simple as this being rewritten 600 times probably makes it worth. So I don't know.
That's only the public repos. Yeah, that's only the public repos.
Can you upvote it on the show as like an official Cup of Go upvote? That should count for at least 500 upvotes.
It should, except it's already been accepted, so I don't know that the voting matters anymore.
I just want to hype Simon. Go Simon.
All right, go Simon.
Cool thing. And also, I learned about this source graph search thing. I heard about this company name, but I've never actually seen their interface. Actually, pretty cool. So we don't have time to go through all of the proposals. We, however, are going to keep our lightning round following popular demand and feedback. We are changing the format a little bit. So let's jump to the lightning round, talk about its format, and then do the new lightning round.
All right.
Lightning round.
So we've decided to keep the lightning round, as Shai mentioned, because some people find it valuable, but we're going to keep it short and to the point and punchy, lightning-ish. I think we'll just stick to like one item per person at most per episode. So we're not going to do a laundry list. 16 lightning strikes is not what we're aiming for. So
yeah, we're going to do the most prioritized link that we found, and we're going to do it. We're going to try to find things that are either esoteric and don't really have a place in the show, but we wanted to mention, or things that we think are valuable, but there's just not a lot to dig into. Just like if you need a specific thing, this is for you.
All right. So my lightning round item is a blog post from David. I don't know David's last name, because it just says David's Obsessions. What's your name, David? David Newswanger.
Newswanger? That's pretty good.
Newswanger.
Come on.
Yeah, that's a cool name. So David writes blog post using Go for mobile apps. And he's just kind of walking through some of his experience using Go mobile. And sadly, for somebody who might be listening, why he chose not to use Fine.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we're allowed to do that. We're going to have to talk to our parties committee. What is Go Mobile? Is that like a library for mobile app development in Go?
Basically, yeah. It makes lets you run Go on a mobile device. It's as far as I understand, it is cross-platform, so it works on iOS and Android, and it might even work on some older esoteric platforms like Windows Mobile. I don't remember if that used to be supported, and probably isn't supported anymore. But and it's interesting. He didn't use it exclusively. He's using Flutter, which I'm not a mobile developer. I don't really know what Flutter is or does. I think it's the UI layer. So he's actually using Flutter with Go Mobile. So Go Mobile isn't doing the UI rendering in this case. It's handling the back end within the mobile app. So data handling is done in Go, and then there's this translation layer between Flutter and Go. So it's not back end in the sense of like on the server. It's the back end running on the mobile device itself. It's written in Go. If that's your thing, this will be a good blog post to check out. So link in the show notes.
One thing I've never done, a mobile app. I'm gonna have to do that at some point. My lightning round item is that TypeScript 7.0 has been announced. We talked about this in the past. If you use TypeScript today, you can upgrade to TypeScript 7. And why are we talking about TypeScript in the Go show? It's because the transpiler, second some code to JavaScript that runs in the browser transpiler we're talking about today, is written in Go, which is a really cool project, and they talked about the technicals of it in depth in other blog posts. This was like in preview up until now, and now it's like announced.
Now it's release candidate.
7.0 doesn't have a programmable API. So if you want to build the tooling around it, wait until 7.1. It's going to be just a few months. But if you just want to use it to compile your TypeScript, you really should. I tried it locally for our project at work, which is a Nest.js TypeScript backend, and it's 18 times faster.
Wow.
The LSP works great. It just really works great. Like kudos to the Microsoft team on this one. They did it really, really well. So my recommendation is you should run it for a week on CI or whatever, and then just move all your developers to TypeScript 7. It's also super helpful for agents because they get a way faster feedback. So if you have background agents running and whatever, really good for that as well. So yeah, TypeScript 7 has been announced. That's my lightning item. That's my lightning round item.
On a personal note, the timing couldn't be better. I'm interviewing for a job where I would likely be doing TypeScript for the first time professionally. So maybe I won't have to go to release low compiles if I end up taking this job.
You're going to do TypeScript professionally? You're going to be
I might be. I don't know. It's still
nobody's doing TypeScript professionally. It's a typing language built on top of a vulnerability delivery mechanism called its JavaScript. All right. Cool. Well, we're going to not do an ad break. We're just going to say thank you for listening. And if you want to support us, the best way to do it is via Patreon. Thanks a lot to all our Patreon supporters. And you can find the link to that and all the rest of our things at cupago.dev.
Yeah. And you can chat with us during the week.
We have an interview coming up, so we're going to cut to that in just a second.
And you can chat with us during the week on the Cupago Slack channel, where we do have a fair amount of conversation happening lately. We will try to get through some of that. We got a lot of feedback to our last week's show. We haven't digested it all yet. We're still figuring it out, but we will get to that, and we will read everything that you say.
Yeah, we really, really appreciate all the feedback. I think the main thing I want to say about the feedback, because I have read everything, we just haven't had a chance to like dissect it and debug it. First of all, that different people get different things from this show. Like about the lightning round, some people said we're like, get it out. And some people are like, no, that's the best part. About the ad break, some people are like, yeah, please get it out. And explicitly, some people have written AI software to skip our ad break. People who were on the show and may or may have not invited me to their home last week. You know who you are. It's Josh. We hung out for burgers. It was really nice. He gave me his banjo. It was awesome.
Okay.
Anyway, so we've gotten a lot of feedback. The main thing I think we understood is that this is an iteration of the existing show and not a new show we're trying to do. Like we're still going to keep the core things the same. The news, the security releases, whatever. And also, very importantly, we're going to try to keep this as much as we can, 100% an audio show. So people can, y'all could listen to it in the gym while doing dishes or whatever.
The video is a supplement, not the show.
Yeah, for sure. It's just helpful for us. And we're going to do a little bit of more social media. I don't know if that's a downside or an upside to you, but hopefully it'll get new people listening.
That's right.
All right. We have an interview coming up with Patricio Diaz, so we will hear you there. So, Jonathan, I saw your code last week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think it's total crap.
Yeah, I agree.
It's total crap. Its crap score is really low.
Yeah.
Wait, but that's a good thing. Don't worry. Wait, I have someone to explain.
Oh, okay.
That's a good thing. No, don't get insulted. Wait, I have someone to explain for you. Patricio, hi.
Hi. Thank you for having me invited. But in fact, the year should be like your crap score is very high. It is the higher, the worse. But anyways,
yeah, that's what I said. It's really low.
So it's like golf.
Yeah. That's correct. So the crap score.
Who are you, Patricio? Please introduce yourself to our beautiful audience.
Sorry, I'm Patricio Diaz. I'm from Paraguay. I'm a software developer and freelancer right now. I'm looking for a new position. In fact, the GopherJS is part of my portfolio. I'm building to catch up the attention of recruiters and all of that. Been working in Golang for 8-9 years, something, mostly. But I have background for several other languages, which from I came from.
Since you mentioned it, what was the language you moved to Go from?
It was a kind of code generator. It's named Genexus. It is kind of longless page manager, which you describe what you want to do, and it just build the code for any language that you prefer. It is highly used in South America in financial institutions and
I've never heard of it. Interesting.
It's kind of endemic from South America. It's not too much known outside. Before that, I came from Delphi. And before that, I came from Clipper.
Delphi. We had a person on the show recently who programmed Delphi, right? One of our recent interviews. I don't remember who that was.
Yeah, it was a couple of episodes back. I heard that.
Yeah, maybe you know because you said you're a listener. We're always happy to have a listener on the show. But actually, the reason we invited you on is because you have a few cool tools. The ones that like sort of open source project that you've been working on focused on code quality. And I'll just say before you introduce them that automated tools that look at code quality have become more and more important in my life recently. In my fight against slop, like standing at the gates against slop, I'll like say, this is bad. And then people are like, Claude did it. And it's like, no, you submitted the PR. And it's like, your linter didn't catch it for me, so I guess it's fine. I have opinions about that, but like if there are good automated guardrails that actually work that we could introduce, I'm always interested to hear about them. And we at the beginning of this interview, we introduced the CRAP score, which is such a great brand. What does it do though? So can you tell us what is the Go CRAP project? What does it do? How does it work? Who would use it?
The CRAP scoring is about change risk anti-pattern. And basically it's what is the risk if someone come and change the code. And we will look back over that. Way back, when I was a technical leader for some teams, we used cyclomatic complexity and code coverage for kind of know what are the risks that we have and try to figure out what could be good starting for reducing risk and improving the code quality from what we deliver. But not much ago, I crossed with this CRAP concept. I saw that first for Rust. Somebody that was using Rust built a tooling for calculating the CRAP score of Rust projects. And I started to read a bit about it, and I found that the CRAP scoring uses two of the metrics that I was already familiar with, which is cyclomatic complexity and code coverage. And they separately gives you insights, but they are not so useful as the CRAP scoring. Like cyclomatic complexity tells you how complex is your function. Basically tells you how many paths your function has to go through. And what that means that if you are going to cover all of that with unit testing, you need to cover each of those paths, and some of those paths probably had 2 or 3 or more conditions you need to check, like the real value and the transition values, the boundaries of the value that you are checking.
So just to reiterate that, for cyclomatic complexity, it's like if I have, I'm starting from some node in the code. This is, I pulled up a Wikipedia image that shows like a graph, starts with the red circle, and then it goes through many different paths. All the possible paths through this code from the start to the end, this is like the cyclomatic complexity of the code, right? So if I can go just one way, if it's just a simple function with no if and no else, the score is 1. And then if I introduce one if in the middle, the score is 2. But then if I introduce 2 ifs that depend on one another, the score becomes 4, right? So functions can become really complex by that definition.
Yeah. So that only gives you how complex it is, but it doesn't give you much information. But if you, in the other hand, you see what is the code coverage of that specific function, if you have all of it covered by unit test, you may think, well, it is a complex function, but I'm covering all the paths, and probably is not a big problem if there's an issue there, or probably as I tested it all, probably I won't expect a bug in it. But you have these two separate metrics. But when you combine with the CRAP, what CRAP tells you is how risky is in reality that function based on what is the complexity of the function and how covered it is. And I won't go down to the formula, but basically it grows exponentially if your function is complex and you didn't cover it.
So again, the higher the score, the worse the situation is.
The higher the risk. That's correct. So the less CRAP score you probably could have is the cyclomatic complexity. Like that, you can go down on that. Mm-hmm. You can go down just by refactoring it, like and split the function in different other functions that are more single function, more single tasked, or saying that. Even if you have a high scoring cyclomatic complexity, it means that probably your function is doing a lot of things and probably is a good candidate for refactoring. But we will talk about it and the final words, like, does it worth to check out this scoring? But let's move with what we were talking. So if you have a high score, it means that that function is too risky. You don't know, or probably few people know how the function works because there is no testing. It's hard to tell what it does. And if somebody goes and changes something, you can be sure if that won't introduce a bug, or you will introduce a new feature, but just screwing up 2-3 functions that the function is doing, features that the function is doing. So that's the idea of the CRAP scoring will give you insights and highlights on where you need to go and check your code, see if that is working correctly. If it's not tested, probably you will need to test it, or you will want to test it to just reduce the risk of changing it. So basically that is the GoCRAP. And just to summarize everything, the GoCRAP, or the CRAP idea only uses 2 metrics, the cyclomatic complexity and the test coverage. Mm-hmm. In my tooling, I added one optional level of testing, which is the mutation testing. It's something that I am used to use in my projects, because I found out that you think you covered all your code with good tests, all is green, or you see 100% covered. But sometimes your test has blind spots, and the mutation test just finds those blind spots. Like maybe you didn't cover one of the variables of in an if. Probably if your condition is based on a range or of values, probably you are testing in the middle, and then it's just come down, but you didn't test the edges of this range. If you change. So what I did is you get the CRAP scoring with the GoCRAP, but if you use that in conjunction with mutation testing, it will go and invalidate whatever coverage you already have, either if it's 100%. If it's not passing mutation testing, probably you shouldn't rely on that coverage, because it is not well covered. So
all 3 of these concepts, of course, have existed for a long time. The idea, test coverage as a metric has existed forever. Mutation testing has existed for a long time, and cyclomatic complexity. There's linters and Golang CI-lint and other places that do that. But you brought these together. Is this the first time they've been brought together in this way, or it's just? What inspired you to bring them together?
Again, the CRAP concept is not mine. The CRAP concept is from somewhere else. Let me tell you who
I just can't with. It's such a good name.
It's just not my crap.
This is not my crap. This is someone else's crap. I say that at work all the time. Whenever there's a production bug.
What I did is build a tool for Golang, because there exists for other language. At least for Rust, which is the one that I just crossed it with. And what I did is just bring it to and I found it very interesting, because I am running the GoCRAP into my previous projects and all of that, and they are throwing a high CRAP score. I did some mistakes everywhere, and I'm trying to fix them, and I just. But what is interesting is when you use this tooling with AI agents, because AI now is it is pretty common that it builds you gigantic functions with a lot of cyclomatic complexity, and sometimes it says, it is tested. But if you run mutation tests on those, they are not properly tested. So this is a good URL when you say, hey, build me this based on this specification, and then you run the GoCrap, and you will spot what to ask the AI agent, or just say the AI agent, hey, go and check this CRAP scoring, use this tool, and fix it. Like refactor what you need, cover unit test, because mutation test tells you where is the issue and what is the issue. And you started with something at the beginning and say, hey, AI tool now clouded those everything. And a couple of weeks ago, I just posted something in LinkedIn and was testing this CRAP function with, try to see how it performs with automatic agentic code generation. And I just took one of my projects and say, run this GoCrap with these parameters, try to fix all of those. And from 50 issues, it killed 40, and 10, they say, I cannot do this. Like, mutants still live, there's no way, and just loop it over and say, I can fix this 10. I went and fixed those 10 because, I don't know, human imagination, human knowledge, whatever. But with this tool, I found what is the limit of the AI per se, and really push to the limit to the AI agents. And I think this is interesting for like when you do the specification, build all of that, and before you say it is finished, just run the linter, run the testing, and run the GoCrap. And there is a lot more job for the AI agent to do after that.
Yeah, it seems that originally in for CRAP, I found this like original blog post. It's mostly about like in AI generated Rust code. I think this has been a useful, like this is both cyclomatic complexity and code coverage are things I commented on for humans as well. Like humans are bad at this stuff as well. This is not like an AI specific problem. But it does seem that people are looking for more like deterministic tooling to point agents away from this problem. Although I don't know, I still feel like you have to review stuff yourself. Like you can't just say the code is good because it has a low CRAP score. I mean, it might have a low CRAP score because it's very complicated and it has a million tests and a million mutation tests. But any human looking at this would be like, well, these are two separate concepts. Maybe we need to, like on a more architectural level, maybe they need to be separated. But it is interesting to see the evolution of this project, like from this to the Go CRAP version. By the way, all the links that if you're watching video, I'm sharing the screen right now. But all these blog posts about cargo CRAP and this documentation about Go CRAP, all these links will be in the show notes. So you can see that as well. So it's not strictly for AI, I feel, but it does. I understand why the hunger is like more there. Like you said, you just catch Claude or Codex or GitHub CLI or whatever misbehaving.
Yeah, and right now I'm trying to push this to the Go community, but also now I'm trying to kind of run a poll about. Well, the thing is, do you have this CRAP scoring? That's fine. It is probably high in your project, but what do you do about it? Does it work to do something about it? What will be your approach for solving it? When we were discussing in other tech leads group in companies I was working on, and I was using and brought the test coverage and cyclomatic complexity to the discussion and say, we are in our team, we are using these, and we are trying to to take a bit of the time of the developers in the sprint just to try to fix or solve or reduce some of these. And they say, why are you trying to do that? Like, it is money. You are spending money in something that probably won't crash. Or my point is, this will kind of highlight something that you don't see, but it is not the end of the world. Like, you can just see, you can just live with it, or try to take some action on it. But it doesn't mean that if you have a high CRAP score, everything will go down or your application will crash. The only thing is, like, if something crashes and it is in something that has a high CRAP score, you probably will know that it will take you longer to figure it out and fix that issue. It is just that.
So I'm curious why you would multiply these together, whatever the formula is. Why didn't you look at the test coverage and the complexity as two distinct things? Like, if I have a really complex function but it's 100% test covered, does it matter that it's complex?
No, it doesn't matter.
And vice versa. If I have have really simple functions that are not tested at all, do I care?
No, at all.
So what's the value in combining these two things together then into a single number?
Combining these two things, if your function is already complex, and it should be like that, it doesn't matter. That's fine. It only says that it has a lot of paths and a lot of calculations and all of that. But if you don't cover it properly, the idea is, if you are not sure if everything works, if all the paths are tested, and you really know that everything will work, and that the only way to do that is using unit testing. That's where the CRAP scoring matters. Like, you have
so you have a high CRAP score. It helps you focus on which parts to do first, basically.
Yeah, you probably will need first to see if that cyclomatic complexity is real. You really need that, or some. Just figure this out. You have a long function, and the first 50 lines is only to calculate one value that you will use in the next lines. Probably those 50 lines you could just take out to a function and reduce the complexity and unit test that specific, because the only duty it has to do is to calculate that specific value, and it doesn't need to be in the whole function. And well, that's just one example. If you found out that the cyclomatic complexity is okay, that's what it has to be, then you go and try to put the more testing you can into the function, so you are sure that all the paths are tested, and a value won't crash, or will send the function for a path it shouldn't go. And then the mutation test will help you to figure it out if you covered all the path and your testing are meaningful. Like, you don't have blind spots in your use cases.
Cool beans. Well, other than GoCrap, you did. I know that this was the main thing I wanted to focus on, because to me, I think it's the most generally applicable. There are two other tools that you've worked on that you wanted to share, right? One about hexagonal architecture that you're going to be presenting soon as well, and one about test generation. I would love to hear just briefly about those for people who would think it's relevant. I think it's way more specific. So probably if everybody in our listenership could add a CRAP score, calculator to their CI pipeline or whatever, these ones are a bit more niche, but I still would love to hear about them.
Yeah. The Hexago is a tool for scaffolding an hexagonal architecture project. Is, as you say, is a very niche. But in my previous jobs, when I was doing projects, I work in projects. We were using hexagonal architecture, and really, the developers really struggled a lot to understand where each thing should go and how do you structure the code and the flow, the data flow, where it comes, what you can connect with, whatnot. And the Hexago, what does is help you. If you have your DDD planning, your domain definition specifically, then it is easy to translate that to Hexago commands and ask, hey, build me this domain object with these attributes, and we'll create it for you. And you say, hey, build me this adapter for a database, and we'll just put whatever code goes in place. Again, it is a good guardrail for AI agents. Again, you can use it manually, but as it has an MCP server too, you can just ask an AI agent, build me this, or you just give your domain definition, your spec-driven development document.
Yes,
and
sort
it
of keeps it in the path, in the architectural path you want,
and it won't hallucinate too much. And this is a good guardrail so far.
Jonathan, have you ever done hexagonal architecture work? Like worked in a project that had this sort of architecture?
Yeah, every project I work on has that by the time I'm done with it.
I've never. What am I missing? Because I've heard about it a lot and people talk about it a lot, but I've never. I just do my architecture based on my experience. Maybe I'm missing like something really.
You're probably
obvious
using it without
really
realizing it. I mean, it's.
What is it? What does it mean?
Do you ever do dependency injection?
Yeah.
Then you do it. Essentially.
Yeah, the idea about hexagonal architecture is that you have incoming connectors and you have outgoing connectors, and your core is agnostic of all of that. Your core only knows about data, doesn't know how to connect to a database, a REST client, nothing. And all of that you do using interfaces and connectors. But talking dirty is kind of the next evolution of all these code patterns like MVC and all of that, which you say in which layer should go your code. And it is just that, like hexagonal is kind of something like that.
People love hexagons. I don't know if you watch, there's this YouTuber, CGP Grey. He also does podcasts. He has hexagons are the bestagons, and he has like a few 6-minute video on why that's the best shape.
Okay.
It's a pretty good video. So this is a tool that helps you like generate, whatever, your product structure for hexagonal architecture, basically.
Yeah, and you just use it basically when you are scaffolding the project. You don't use it too much, so it is kind of a guardrail for developers or AI agents that try to add a few new things. But for sure, you don't need to use it every day in your project. Cool. But
again, all the links to these things are in the show notes as well. So if you're listening, you're like, oh, I'd like to find, like, click on this and check it out. Patricio, you have pretty good docs. Like it's on I noticed that the link is not just to a GitHub README. It's like to a GitHub IO site. I appreciate that. And I'm sure anybody who's going to go is going to appreciate that too. There's like a quick install, get started, add an entity, create a service, add a HTTP handler, validate it, it's all correct. It's like pretty nice.
Thank you. When I was building this, there was a one feature in the first versions of Hexago. There was a one feature like when it should create an adapter, let's say, it'll create the testing file along it, but just with a placeholder. Like you add your testing here and just go fail, like not implemented, something like that. And for the next iteration, I tried to do something more automatic, and I started to think on adding a test creator inside the Hexago. But I say, as you said, Hexago is pretty niche, so you don't need to use it extensively. But testing, you need to create for any other project that you have. It could be hexagonal or not, but testing you need to create. And I know Visual Studio Code or other IDEs, they have these generate a test for this function, but they are pretty basic, and they just create a table-based test, and that's fine if the results of the functions are kind of primitives or simple variables like an int and string, one error. That's it. You can just compare and say, I want this value and compare it with this other one.
Yeah.
But if you, let's say you are using a factory pattern and you have a factory function, a new something, and need to initialize and give you a full initialized structure, and let's say like one or two of those attributes will be an interface which you can use with different implementations you already have, like Redis for caching or memcache or just internal memory. It doesn't matter, but it should be one interface. And you would like to test if, given the configuration for that factory function, it will return you the structure initialized as you want. There, the testing becomes a real headache. And I found, and it's not my invention, it's something that in some courses you will find, and you will even find in the standard library code, there is a concept about this closure function testing, which means you start with a kind of table testing, but instead of setting the wanted value, you set a list of functions and you pass it the returning value to that, and you define what you want to test specifically, and you don't need to use all the functions. You say, for this configuration I sent, and you specify, verify me if this value is from, implements this interface. See if this value has this something. You construct a small
sort
function.
of a higher order asserts on the
you get the idea.
Okay.
So the code test,
I think I do. This stuff is for pretty advanced architectures, I feel. It's not like for your garden, 100-line script. This is for like real big software. This is not something you would reach for all this tooling for, just like, I wrote a script that does something small.
Yeah, well, I won't say that. Like, if you're trying to test something complex, like an structure or an interface, the table, let's compare just what popped out from the function and what you wanted, it won't work. So I found that this is more comfortable, it's more easy and more easy to understand, to extend, and it is more efficient to do. And my test generator, that's the strongest feature that it has. Like, it can take that function and try to scaffold the function based on what is the complexity and what are the functions that receives or sends. By the way, I published it. I can send it to you later. I started to publish a kind of a web book with test cases that I found in my code base and all related to the projects that I published and how I ended up testing those. And so far, I have 32 scenarios, different scenarios for testing, from the simple ones to channels, mutexes, and real complex scenarios. My idea is to go test Gen, the tooling, should in the end cover all these scenarios that I found. And it shouldn't be just the simple table test or this closure test, collection test that you have, but it is an ongoing project. Again, it relates to GoCrab because I found I need to test something. I just go to Go Test Gen, generate the code, and I start adding a lot of unit cases, testing cases for that. I mentioned the webbook, and something I didn't mention because I kind of forgot about it. I also built a Visual Studio Code extension, which what it does.
Lots of dev tooling.
Yeah. Mostly is for my use, but I would like to share with the with the community. This goes struct analyzer. What it does is just take an struct and will tell you if it is properly ordered to not consume too much
padding
memory
and stuff.
The padding, all of that, and also there's a new feature for telling you if the order is also putting some pressure on the garbage collector, something I didn't know about it until I read it, and I say it was good and cool to add it. So it will just check too if the padding is correct, the ordering for the padding is correct, and also if the order won't put or not pressure on the garbage collector. It's pretty interesting if you use it with Visual Studio Code. It could be with set, with Cursor, whatever Visual Studio Code clone.
Yeah, there's a lot of these forks out there at the moment. Cool.
I was noticing that you are scheduled to speak at GopherCon Latam.
Yeah, that's correct.
In September. What are you speaking about there?
About Hexago.
Yeah, cool.
Because GoCrap and GoTest GoCrap didn't exist when I sent the paper proposal, and GoTest was just born, a few days born, so I didn't.
Okay. And are you speaking in English there? It looks like this is at least a trilingual conference, English, Spanish, and Portuguese.
I believe I will be the first Spanish talker in that GopherCon.
Okay.
Always was in Portuguese and English, and they announced that in this edition we will have Spanish speakers. And I believe mine is the only one that you will find in Spanish.
Okay. Nice. Well, I wish I could go. I love Brazil. It's been many years since I've been there. It looks like a bunch of other great speakers will be there too. It would be fun if I could make it, but unfortunately I won't be able to this year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meet a lot of people that I knew about because of you, like Filippo. Okay. This is the only one from.
Second Filippo mentioned this episode. You don't know because we recorded the episode right before we started the interview, but we mentioned him during the show as well because we had some crypto-related things.
Yeah, he'll be there, and this guy from Ardon Labs too.
Bill Kennedy.
Yeah, Bill.
Bill Kennedy. Yeah, he will be doing a workshop there.
Yeah.
We just met him. Bill's a great guy. He's such a chill dude. It was so cool to hang out with him in Canada. You went to his workshop, right, Jonathan?
For the first half, yeah. I had a headache that day. I had to go lie down halfway through, but yeah, I did go.
Yeah, I heard a lot of good stuff about this ultimate AI. If it's the same time as your talk, Patricio, then that workshop sucks. But if it's not the same time as your talk, I heard a lot of good things about the ultimate AI thing. I couldn't go when we were in Canada because I had to talk at exactly the same time. But I heard a lot of good things about that workshop. And I guess if people want to follow all this cool work you're doing, Patricio, LinkedIn is a good place to connect with you?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, LinkedIn is a good place.
Cool. LinkedIn's in the show notes as well. We're coming up to a close here, and we have I don't know if it's new at this point, it's July, but our current stumper question. Jonathan, why don't you take it? Because I'm worried. I'm always worried that I'll ask the question from last year.
Just like when the new year comes and you sign your date things wrong.
Yeah, I do all the time.
So the question is, can you tell us about your favorite third-party Go library?
Yeah, that's a kind of tough question. Even I did it myself when I listened to your podcast. I think I will go with these two, Cobra and Viper from SP13, something like that. It is the tooling for building CLI tools, and the other one is for reading config. I can think on building a project without using either one or the other. They are really, really good.
Yeah, they're not standard library in the sense that they're very opinionated, very big. and whatever. But they're part of like so many projects that are super important, like Hugo and Kubernetes and whatever. They're not standard library, but they might as well be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Good answer.
Yeah, I like those too. I use them a lot. Although there is one problem with Cobra.
Oh, yeah.
Why didn't it call it Gobra?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's so obvious. No, people have a lot of problems with Viper and Cobra because they think it's too complicated, but I like it. I think it's for what it does. It's like the right level of complexity. I wonder what the crap score for Viper and Cobra is. Maybe you can run Go crap on it and give him a score.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be interesting. Can you imagine that issue as an open source maintainer? Your code is crap. I have scientific proof.
I'm thinking on starting to get the crap score for a few of the
major open source stuff.
Major open source projects again, and I'm trying to I'm thinking of sending a challenge to all my friends that I still work on some big company where we were working on, and ask them if they dare to put this in their CI and see how is the crap scoring for their code.
I'm telling you, the crap mark, the Go crap mark page, people are gonna love it. You post it on like Reddit or whatever. Here's the crap score for all the open source code in the project. People are gonna go wild for it, but they're gonna misunderstand it, right? They're gonna say, "Oh, the crap score is high, therefore this project is bad," even if evidently the project is totally fine. But I don't know. People love these comparisons. Well, I'm sorry that we gave you homework at the end of this interview. That's not usually how this goes.
Well, Patricio, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to us. It's been a pleasure learning about your projects and talking to you. I wish you the best of luck in Brazil there at the GopherCon LATAM. Let us know how it goes. Maybe when the videos are out, I hope they do videos. Share a link on the Gopher Slack. We'd love to watch your presentation. Those of us who speak Spanish.
I'm not gonna watch it. My kid might be able to watch it. She knows Spanish because of her kindergarten teachers, but I don't know Spanish yet.
Oh.
Sorry, you can use the translation.
I just got a private viewing, so I think I'm good.
You got a few months to learn Spanish anyway, Shai. So no excuse.
This is a different topic, but I recently have deleted Duolingo and stopped my subscription. I'm done.
All right.
Some other time we'll talk about it. Thanks a lot, Patricio.
Thanks for having me.
Do you want to, since you're a listener, do you want to do the outro? You know it.
Oh, yeah.
The program exit?
Yeah, program exited.
Quick programming note. We realized after finishing recording the episode, Jonathan and I are not going to be here next week. So we're just going to skip the episode next week. Let us know if you want us to publish an older episode again or something like that. Probably not. But we may just miss a week. So listen to this episode with 0.5 speed, and then you got enough content for a couple of weeks.
There you go. And we will see you in 2 weeks.
Program exited. Goodbye.